Welcome to our channel. Today's story is one of silence, heartbreak, and truth. A moment frozen in time on a quiet park bench. What led her here? And what secret is she carrying? Stay with us as we uncover the raw emotion behind. A true infidelity story. From the outside, my life in the suburbs seemed like a perfect facade, a shimmering illusion that drew the envious gazes of others. Our home stood as a breathtaking expanse, where the lawn was a verdant tapestry, perfectly groomed, and the pool sparkled like a jewel, reflecting the warm embrace of the golden sunlight. My husband Mike was a man of unwavering dedication and remarkable achievements, while our son Eric, at the tender age of 20, stood on the precipice of college graduation, ready to step into a new chapter of his life. To an outside observer, we appeared to be the very embodiment of joy, a family that others longed to emulate. Yet, within the shadowy walls of that house, reality twisted into something far from ideal. Mike poured himself into his work, the hours slipping away like sand through his fingers. When he finally returned home, it was as if I were a ghost, unseen and unheard in the shadows of his relentless pursuit. His attention was ensnared by the glow of his phone and the flickering images on the television. The warmth that once bound us, now a distant memory, faded into the shadows of indifference. The man who once held me close now barely acknowledges my presence. As the days slipped by, the silence between us deepened, a heavy fog that clung to the air, suffocating and relentless. I felt invisible in my own marriage, trapped in a life that should have been filled with color and warmth, yet now felt stark and desolate. On a Saturday afternoon in the early summer, the winds of change whispered through the air, hinting at the extraordinary events about to unfold. With a glint of excitement in his eyes, Eric beckoned his closest companion, Marcus, to join him for a refreshing swim. For months he had been a constant presence, his demeanor unwaveringly courteous, each interaction steeped in a deep respect that hinted at untold stories beneath the surface. He was merely another boy to me, until that fateful day changed everything. As I stood in the kitchen, the warm water cascading over the dishes in my hands, my gaze drifted to the sliding glass doors that beckoned from the shadows, revealing the secrets of our backyard beyond. And there he stood, a solitary figure against the backdrop of the encroaching shadows. Marcus stood at the edge of the pool, his skin shimmering beneath the bright midday sun, droplets of water cascading down his smooth, flawless dark skin. His physique was a masterpiece of strength and agility, sinews coiling and flexing with each movement, a testament to his relentless dedication. He dove into the water, slicing through the surface with an elegance that seemed almost otherworldly. He emerged moments later, a broad, confident smile revealing his flawless white teeth. In a fleeting moment, my eyes were ensnared, held captive by an unseen force. It was not just his physique or the charm of his grin that captivated me. A deeper force was at work, weaving its intricate threads through the fabric of reality. His presentation was nothing short of captivating. His unwavering confidence, his solace, so starkly different from Mike's cold, weary presence. A strange sensation stirred deep inside me, an exhilarating feeling I had long forgotten. I forced myself to confront the pile of dishes, but my hands trembled with an unsettling energy, and my mind kept wandering back to Marcus, like a moth drawn to a flame. In the weeks that followed, Marcus began to appear at our house more and more often, each visit shrouded in an air of anticipation. In the dim light of the garage, he and Eric lost themselves in the world of video games, their laughter echoing into the night. As the sun dipped low, they found solace by the shimmering pool, where lazy afternoons melted into unforgettable moments. Whenever Marcus was near, an electric tension filled the air, and I found myself hyper-aware of every subtle shift in his presence. Every glance, every single word, every time his rich, resonant voice reverberated through the halls of the home, it filled the air with an undeniable presence. One fateful afternoon, Eric sprinted to the store, leaving Marcus trailing behind, a mere shadow in his hurried escape. As I stood in the kitchen, the aroma of dinner swirling around me, he stepped into the room, his presence shifting the air with an unspoken tension. "Mrs. Blake, may I take a moment to fetch some water?" he asked, his voice laced with curiosity. His voice enveloped me unexpectedly, rich and smooth like the finest velvet. As the clock ticked ominously, the atmosphere thickened with anticipation. Each second felt like an eternity, drawing the listener deeper into the unfolding drama. The tension was palpable, a silent promise of what was to come. Time seemed to stretch, holding its breath in the shadows of uncertainty. Without a doubt, Marcus, I replied, striving for a laid-back vibe. Call me Amanda if you wish. He flashed that effortless, captivating smile that sent a flutter through my chest. 3:22 to 4:10. Thank you, Amanda. As he extended his hand for a glass, our fingers lightly grazed each other. It was a moment that slipped through the fingers like sand, barely there yet profoundly felt, ephemeral. Yet it struck me with an undeniable jolt, reverberating through every fiber of my being. I remained frozen in place. His words hung in the air, heavy with meaning, resonating in the silence that followed. My breath caught in my throat. A part of me knew I should turn away, to end this conversation once and for all, yet I found myself unable to do so. A sense of paralysis enveloped me, drawn to him by an undeniable force, as though ensnared in a captivating radiance. Just as I was about to respond, the door swung open and Eric stepped into the room. The air crackled with tension, a palpable force that seemed to fracture reality itself. Marcus stood tall, a relaxed grin breaking across his face once more, as if the world around him had faded, leaving only the thrill of the moment. "Thank you for the dinner, Mrs. Blake," he said, his voice warm as he prepared to leave with Eric. As the clock ticked ominously, the atmosphere thickened with tension. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering secrets of the past. Every second felt like an eternity, drawing the characters deeper into a web of intrigue and uncertainty. The stakes were rising, and the air crackled with anticipation, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, yearning for. Yet his words lingered, hanging in the air like a haunting echo. And so the fire he had ignited within me raged on, consuming everything in its path. The days bled together, each one indistinguishable from the last. Eyes darted furtively, laden with unspoken words, fleeting touches that linger in the air. In the kitchen, our hands moved with urgency, neither of us daring to pull away. As we brushed past each other in the dimly lit hallway, our arms barely grazing, an electrifying thrill surged through me, igniting a fire of anticipation. I found myself navigating a treacherous journey. The more I struggled to resist, the stronger my pull towards him grew, ensnaring me in a web of desire I couldn't escape. As the clock ticked ominously, the shadows deepened, and the atmosphere thickened with tension. Every second felt like an eternity, each moment laden with unspoken fears and uncharted possibilities. The world outside faded into a distant murmur, leaving only the pulse of anticipation echoing in the silence. Time stretched and the air crackled within. On a tranquil afternoon, Eric set out on a journey to fulfill his errands. Marcus hovered in the darkness, his presence barely a whisper against the night. As I reclined on the patio, savoring the coolness of a refreshing glass of iced tea, he approached, his presence drawing me into an unexpected moment. "May I take a seat?" he asked, his voice laced with curiosity. With unwavering conviction, I shot back, "Absolutely not." For a moment we remained enveloped in a profound stillness. The melodic chirping of birds mingled with the distant hum of traffic, crafting a backdrop that wrapped around us like a warm embrace. As he opened his mouth, the air thickened with anticipation. "A shift in your energy has been palpable lately. Is everything okay?" I came to a sudden halt. Thoughts swirl around me like a tempest, each one vying for attention, each one more insistent than the last. "If there's anything I can help you with, just let me know." His voice dwindled into silence, but the message lingered, sharp and clear. As I looked at him, really looked, a deep transformation began to awaken inside me. It had transformed into something far deeper than simple attraction. A profound longing stirred within, a desperate yearning to feel the pulse of life surge through the veins once again. The evening it unfolded seemed preordained, as if the universe had conspired to bring forth this moment. Under the bright lights of the stadium, Mike and Eric found themselves swept up in the electric atmosphere of the baseball game, the roar of the crowd echoing around them. The stillness in the house was palpable. A haunting stillness envelopes the air, inviting your mind to wander into treacherous depths. Marcus made the decision to stay, declaring that baseball simply didn't resonate with him. It never crossed my mind to confront it. A wave of relief surged through me, enveloping my senses in a warm embrace. A shadow loomed over a part of my soul, heavy with dread, As I sprawled on the couch, my mind wrestling with the words of the book in my hands, Marcus appeared in the doorway, silhouetted by the gentle glow of the dim hallway light. "May I join you?" he asked, his voice laced with curiosity. "Of course," I whispered, a hint of intrigue lacing my voice. He settled beside me, the closeness electrifying, a tension hanging in the air that had never existed between us before. The air crackled around us, thick with an electric intensity that sent shivers down our spines. "You seem a little on edge," he said softly, his voice laced with concern. "I'm fine." I had not been honest. With a deliberate motion, he reached out, his fingers brushing against mine as he took the book from my hands, setting it down with a tender precision. "Amanda, you don't have to wear a mask in my presence." The way he spoke my name, stripped of all artifice, ignited a rush of exhilaration within me. I pivoted to face him, my resolve wavering under the weight of his piercing gaze. "Can't I?" I murmured. "You can," he declared, his voice steady and resolute. "I can feel that you resonate with this emotion too." In that fleeting moment, my mind froze, silencing all worries. I leaned in and he mirrored my movement, our breaths mingling in the charged air between us. As our lips collided, an overwhelming surge of emotion surged through me, as if a dam had shattered, unleashing a torrent of passion and longing. Weeks of pent-up longing crashed over us like a tidal wave, drowning out everything else in its wake. His hands held a power that was softened by a gentle touch, cupping my face and pulling me closer. I yielded to him, my world fading away as the tempest of emotions he ignited consumed me entirely. 7:22 to 9:27. We slipped away from the couch and into the intimate refuge of my bedroom. In that same haunting spot, under the cloak of countless solitary nights, I found myself lost in thought, wondering if Mike even noticed my existence anymore. In this very moment, a decisive action has been set in motion. I yanked my hand away, heart racing, hoping he hadn't noticed the way my breath hitched in my throat. With a soft chuckle, he offered an apology, his voice warm and inviting. "It's all right," I whispered, feeling the warmth flood my cheeks, a telltale sign of the emotions swirling within me. As he stepped out of the room, I remained behind, leaning against the counter, my heart pounding in my chest. What was stirring deep within me? In the heart of my 40s, I found myself entwined in the complexities of marriage, each day a new chapter in an unfolding tale. Yet there I stood, heart racing and cheeks burning, caught in a whirlwind of emotions like a young student, hopelessly enamored with someone far too youthful. As the night deepened and the house succumbed to an eerie silence, I sat by the pool, wrapped in the heavy cloak of solitude. The moonlight wove a tapestry of silver across the water, each gentle ripple mirroring the storm of emotions raging within me. I tried to convince myself it was harmless, just a passing fancy that would fade away in time. Yet, lurking beneath the surface, I sensed the undeniable truth. A bond pulsed between us, electric and undeniable. A profound emotion lingers in the shadows, unspoken yet palpably real. A chilling wave of dread washed over me. I made a solemn promise to cast those emotions into the shadows. I embraced the role of a wife, a devoted and nurturing presence. I had cherished souls to protect at all costs. Yet, as I clung to that promise, a quiet whisper in the shadows of my mind relentlessly probed, what if? I fought against the undeniable pull I felt toward Marcus. I buried it deep within the drudgery of daily life, yet he made it impossible. His presence seeped into every corner of our home, wrapping around us like a thick fog. His laughter echoed hauntingly through the walls. His presence lingered in the air, an echo that refused to fade even after he had vanished from sight. Just a week after that fateful evening by the pool, everything changed in an instant. Under the blazing summer sun, Eric and Marcus battled fiercely on the driveway, their shirts cast aside as the heat intensified the thrill of the game. 9:27 to 10:30. The living room window creaked open, beckoning a rush of fresh air to sweep through the space, stirring the stillness within. Their playful banter wove a tapestry of laughter that filled the air, each word a spark igniting the atmosphere around them. Yet my eyes were locked on Marcus, unable to look away. His body moved with a captivating grace, each motion a seamless dance of fluidity. As the last echoes of laughter faded, Eric sprinted into the house, urgency in his steps, leaving Marcus alone on the porch, gripping a bottle of water as the world around him held its breath. He caught my gaze, the weight of his awareness pressing down like a storm on the horizon. His grin spread wide, a flicker of mischief dancing in his eyes. It was a smile that held secrets, a glimmer of something deeper lurking beneath the surface. It was a silent pact, a bond forged in the depths of unspoken truths. It was as if he could see straight into the depths of my very being. My heart pounded in my chest as I quickly turned my eyes away, pretending to focus on the laundry in my hands. The sun shines brightly, casting a warm glow over everything. It's a day that beckons you to step outside and embrace its beauty, wouldn't you say? Marcus's voice sliced through the silence, startling me to my core. He lingered just beyond the window, his form poised effortlessly against the frame, a shadow of intrigue in the fading light. Indeed it is, I replied, struggling to keep my voice steady. Mrs. Blake, the allure of the great outdoors beckons you to immerse yourself in its beauty. He proposed, basking in the warm embrace of the sun. His tone floated through the air, light and ethereal, yet an underlying essence lingered, something elusive and tantalizing that I couldn't fully grasp. 10:30 to 10:53. Thank you, but I'm fine right here, I replied, forcing a smile as I turned my gaze away once more. Yet his words echoed hauntingly in my thoughts. It wasn't just the words he selected. It was the way he unleashed them into the air, faced the challenge head-on. As twilight descended and shadows danced in the corners of the kitchen, I busied myself with the remnants of dinner when Marcus stepped back into the room. Is there anything I can help you with? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. 10:53 to 11:03. No, I've got it, I insisted, my gaze deliberately avoiding his piercing eyes. But he remained anchored by an unseen force. He leaned against the counter, his eyes locked onto mine with a piercing intensity that sent a thrill of unease racing down my spine. You put in too much effort, he murmured softly, his voice barely above a whisper, as if the weight of his words hung in the air between them. I came to a sudden stop, the plate suspended in my hand, its weight a reminder of the moment hanging in the air. Years had passed since I had last heard words spoken to me with such intensity. It's just how I am, I said, a subtle shrug escaping my shoulders. Maybe it's finally your turn to be cared for, to feel the warmth of someone else's attention. As dawn approached, remorse crept in like a hesitant ghost. I lay beside Marcus, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, as a tempest of thoughts whirled through my mind. I can't let this happen once more, I murmured softly, the weight of my resolve hanging in the air. Yet as the words escaped my lips, a shadow of doubt clung to my heart. 11:37 to 12:10, Marcus replied, his expression calm and untroubled. Your words feel hollow to me. I sense a deeper truth lurking beneath the surface. He tenderly brushed a strand of hair away from my face, his touch lingering like a whisper in the air. Amanda, your feelings are completely justified. His words wrapped around my aching heart like a warm embrace, soothing the pain within. Yet the guilt lingered, an unwelcome shadow that had already begun to take root within them. In the shadows, our secret love story began to weave itself, a tapestry of stolen moments and whispered promises in the weeks that followed. As Eric ventured away, Mike's late shifts became a canvas for capturing fleeting moments, each one charged with an exhilarating thrill that intensified the experience. Yet, it ignited a deep-seated paranoia that took root within me. 12:11 to 13:40. It all began with a seemingly innocuous sight. Mike stumbled upon Marcus's hoodie, draped carelessly over a chair, an unsettling omen of what was to come. He asked, his voice laced with curiosity, whether Marcus had abandoned this here. In that moment, I acted without a second thought. After dinner, Mike raised an eyebrow, a flicker of intrigue crossing his face, yet he opted for silence, the air thick with unspoken words. Yet, an unsettling feeling gnawed at me. How much longer can we keep this up before someone uncovers the truth? The response came rushing in, faster than I ever expected. The air was thick with warmth on that fateful Sunday afternoon. In the dim light of the backyard, Eric and Marcus erupted into a hearty laugh, their voices echoing in the stillness of the evening. Mike flicked through the channels in the dimly lit living room, each flicker of the screen revealing a new world waiting to be explored. Behind a mask of normalcy, I meticulously set the table for dinner, each placement deliberate, each detail a carefully crafted illusion. Yet, an unsettling feeling lingered in the air. I had crossed a threshold from which there was no return. The weight of my secret pressed down on me, tightening its grip until I could barely breathe. As dusk settled over the horizon, Mike stepped outside, drawn by the urgent ring of his phone. Eric was upstairs, relishing the invigorating cascade of water that enveloped him after their exhilarating swim. In the dim light of the kitchen, it was just Marcus and me, the air thick with unspoken tension. The air crackled with tension. "I can't endure this any longer," I whispered, my voice trembling with despair. He edged nearer, the tension thickening in the air. "Surely you can't be serious." "I do," I pressed, my voice trembling with urgency. "That's not right, Marcus. The time has come for it to conclude." Just as he was about to respond, the back door burst open with a sudden force. Mike stepped into the room, the air thick with anticipation. His eyes flickered anxiously between Marcus and me, a silent tension crackling in the air. Then their focus sharpened, drawing them deeper into the unfolding drama. "What is unfolding in this moment?" he asked, his voice laced with curiosity. In an instant, the fragile balance I had painstakingly crafted began to disintegrate before my eyes.
Chép lại bởi turbosfit.ai. Hãy nâng cấp lên phiên bản không giới hạn để xóa bỏ thông báo này.